Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Word on the Street with Gunner Word. And I'm your host, Gunner Word, and we are here with Brilee Tucker, the senior. Brilee, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Gunner?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you being on here with me. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we got coming up next week? You said we got FFA week. We didn't do it this week, which is actually FFA week, but since the Lady Hornets and the Hornets were taking on the district tournament, we decided to move that to next week. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we got going on?
Yeah, that's right. FFA week is always celebrated the week of George Washington's birthday, typically, National FFA week. But basketball's kind of big here at Metcalfe County High School, so we didn't want to take away from basketball or basketball take away from FFA week. So we kind of talked about it, and we just decided to move it to the week after. That way everybody kind of gets 2 spirit weeks, you know, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, so what do you know what we're going to have on each day?
Yeah, we've decided, we tried to change it up a little bit, but we've still got the traditional stuff going on. Monday, we're Future Farmers of America, so we went with our red, white, and blue day on Monday, and we're having our muddy trucks come in. Tuesday, we believe in the future of agriculture, so anybody that wants to dress as their future career, they can do that. And our clean vehicle contest is on that day too. Wednesday, we're kind of doing the FFA members are hard at work, and hard at work is a Carhartt slogan. So we're going to have our Carhartt and Flannel Day, and Carhartt here in Edmonton, they donated a backpack for us to give away. So anybody that comes wearing Carhartt, they can put their name in for a drawing for that backpack, and they've given a few things to give away to our winners of our cornhole tournament that we'll be doing next week too. What else we got? Thursday is Wear Your Brand Wednesday. FFA kind of has this thing where they say be the brand, you got to be the brand of FFA. So Wear Your Brand Wednesday is like John Deere, Case International, New Holland, and we'll have Hat Day that day too. And Friday, of course, is you got to have a blue and gold day, Spirit Day, so blue, gold, maroon all over the place, and we'll finish up our cornhole tournament that day.
So by far, what is your favorite day to participate in?
Oh gosh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm kind of excited about my career day outfit. I'm gonna attempt to dress like a vet. I don't know. I like Carhartts and flannels too. And blue and gold day is awesome too. I don't know. That's hard. FFA week. I just love the whole week.
For me, I don't know. My favorite would probably have to be. Probably cleanest car day. I like doing that, but
oh yeah,
I was surprised.
You've got a sharp vehicle, Gunner.
I appreciate that, but I would have to say though, I was kind of surprised we didn't go with a camo day.
I know. Well, I thought about it, but I was like, we do camo. We have camo day. Like camo day is every day here, is it not?
Okay,
so
that's.
We tried to change it up a little bit.
It is. Sometimes I look for an excuse to kind of go overbearing with the camouflage.
Well, America Monday. I don't know what's not America about camo, so if you want to throw some camo in with your red, white, and blue,
I mean, they could call me on it. If I show up Monday in a ghillie suit, I feel like I'm going to get called on it, okay?
No, I'll do it.
Okay, so another thing you and I talked about before the show was the FFA program. You guys do really good in competitions. You guys go different levels and stuff. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what you guys have done this year, and keep going, continue doing it.
Yeah, especially here the past few years, our FFA chapters, we've kind of stepped up the regional level in certain areas. We had a horsemanship team this year, and we hadn't had one of those in a while. They went to the state level and placed second in that competition, so we were really proud of them for that. We've had some ag mechanics, some of those guys, welding competitions do really well. What else have we had? We've got ag sales team. We've had impromptu. We had 2 or 3 kids last year go to state, make it out of region and go to state to compete in those impromptu competitions, and that's coming up next month. So we've been working towards that. Yeah, we've had some good kids step up the past few years, and I think we've got a good group in the middle school coming up that I'm excited about. So we'll see what they can do.
Absolutely. So what do you personally participate in? What is your big thing in the FFA program? Do you hold any offices? What's your thing? What do you do?
I've served as a committee chairman. I was secretary here at the high school last year, and this year I serve as our chapter president, and I went on and decided to run for a regional office, and that's kind of like you go through an interview process, and they kind of give you points on your interview. And so that's how you get elected at the regional levels, through a point system. And so I had the third highest amount of votes, so I am serving as your regional secretary this year.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, and that's been a lot of fun. It's an all-girls officer team this year. That's, as far as we know, that's like one of the first all-girl
Really?
regional teams for the Barren River region. Yeah, so we've had a lot of fun with that this year. We've been planning. We've planned a leadership conference, hopefully to have this spring. We've been talking about. We've got our speaking day coming up, and we've got, actually, I think the end of March, we'll elect our new regional officers, and anybody in the region that wants to run for state office, they're gonna run for that too. We'll pick our candidates for state office too. So we're really excited about that. A lot of things coming up this spring.
Now, what do you guys do as the regional officers, as far as, like, do you guys meet every so often and just talk about stuff that's going on?
Yeah, we have a state officer that represents our region, the Barren River Region State Vice President. He's actually from Barren County, Braden Burks. So really good friends with him. He's a good guy. So we actually met, I guess about a couple weeks ago, a Sunday afternoon in Bowling Green. We usually, typically, we'll go eat somewhere in Bowling Green and just kind of talk about, whatever business needs to be taken care of then. And it's always a good time. We're just a big group of friends, and it's nice to have those connections with other schools in the region. Of course, so I represent Metcalfe, and we've got Logan County, Warren Central, Greenwood, Allen County, Scottsville, and I think Hart County. We've got Hart County too. So.
Is it interesting to kind of meet with some of the other schools and see, what they do differently? Because some of those schools are kind of inner city versus us.
Yes, like your Greenwood and like your Warren County Bowling Green schools. It's interesting to see how they do stuff differently. But I tell you, Greenwood, their FFA week, man, is awesome. They had their tractor day, man, and huge tractors. Like, I cannot imagine seeing those tractors go through Bowling Green like that. But they rock FFA week. Greenwood does, and it's nice to get to see that stuff and kind of pull some ideas, and get different ideas for our own chapter.
What's probably the most unique FFA week thing that you've seen from other schools versus something that we don't normally do?
One thing we don't do, and I'd never really even thought of it before, but I've seen several schools do it this week. They start their FFA week on Sunday, and so they have a local church in the community. I don't know really how they pick what church they go to, but they have their members come in official dress. So they all go to the same church that Sunday and kick off FFA week that week. And I think that's a really neat idea.
That is pretty neat. I'm thinking back to FFA week, when we was growing up as middle schoolers and freshmen and stuff, when we really started getting into it. I've seen some crazy stuff up here in the mornings for FFA week.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember a couple of guys, I rode some horses one year to school.
Yeah, we've had that.
Obviously we've had a bunch of people ride tractors and stuff. I know when it was tractor day a few years ago, it was just like police escorts all through town getting some of those big tractors through.
Yeah,
Edmonton.
and the community support, man, it's awesome. I'm telling, there's nowhere like Metcalfe County when it comes to community support.
Most definitely.
It's awesome. Our newspaper, we got featured in the newspaper, and I mean, like, we've got 3 whole pages just for FFA week. Pictures and ads. Ads from, I remember seeing one from Colton's, and Family Farms put an ad in the newspaper. It was big businesses, small businesses, all supporting the FFA, and that's really important. That's a big part of having a successful chapter, is getting that community support.
Yeah, and you guys do stuff all throughout the seasons. I know you guys do the Christmas parade, and this year you guys did something really cool with the corn maze down there this year. That was really fun. I helped you guys lead those little ones through there, and we had the elementary visit, and of course, was it every Friday and Saturday night you guys would have that holiday corn maze and stuff?
There for a couple weekends, and we did. Of course, our admission, it may have been $2 or $3 a person, I think, but we ended up raising a lot of money through that for our FFA chapter, And it was fun, you know, getting to see different people in the community come out and go through it and just getting to talk and hang out with them. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, most definitely. I remember just some of the little kids walking through there, you know, some of the questions they would ask you guys.
Yeah, during the day, the school tours. Yeah,
the
those
school
were
tours
so
were
fun.
really fun.
Oh, I love when the little ones come up here. You get some of the craziest questions.
Would you say that FFA for you is probably the most sentimental thing about high school? Is that what means probably the most to you? The most activity?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I love my sports, and I'm involved with a few different other organizations, and I mean, I get a lot and benefit out of those too, but FFA, yeah, I hold that one closest to me. It's, gosh, I don't know, it's really kind of molded me into the person I am today, because, you know, it's not just about how many cows you have or who grew up on the biggest farm, you know, wanting to be a farmer when you grow up. That's what a lot of people, when they think FFA, you know, that's
Right.
what they think. But no, it's a lot of leadership and, you know, having those impromptu competitions, you know, they really help you feel more comfortable speaking in front of a crowd and getting that confidence. That's a lot of, that's why I encourage a lot of kids to join FFA, no matter what kind of background they come from. The friends you make, the connections, the leadership skills you gain from that, you just don't get that kind of stuff from a classroom, you know. And nothing wrong with sitting in class, you know. You got to go to class, but getting that kind of out of school experience, you know, that's really important.
I know one of probably the most neat things about FFA is that, like, it's not just a Southern thing. You know, it's a nationwide thing. And one thing I always like is when you guys go to those big conferences and stuff, and you guys, you know, put stuff on your social media. I always like looking around in the background, looking at all the jackets.
Yes, the
and
coolest.
just the different places that people come from.
Yes,
it's crazy.
The coolest thing, of course, National Convention, it switches between Louisville and Indianapolis, and this past year we went to Indianapolis for National Convention, and downtown Indianapolis is just a sea of Blue Jackets. Like, it's unreal how many people are there, and everywhere you look, it's a different state. There's never the same state all in one big group. I mean, you see them from Florida to Alaska there. I mean, it's wild, and getting to talk to different kids about how they get there. Like, for us, you know, it was a drive, but it was reasonable. But there was these kids from, like, Washington and California that flew, like their school would pay for them to fly to National Convention.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. And seeing all those Blue Jackets, you know, going back to why FFA means so much to me, I think it kind of gives kids somewhere they feel like they belong. You know, you put that blue jacket on with thousands of other kids that have that same jacket on as you do. And it just kind of gives you that feeling of, like, you know, these are my people. We all share the same thing. We've got the same goals in mind. And I just think that's really cool. You don't get that anywhere else.
You know, speaking of goals, what are some of your future plans? I know you mentioned you believe you want to be a veterinarian, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about a career for sure. But I've definitely I've decided to go to Western this fall, and I'm going to major in ag and focus on animal science and ag econ is the plan right now. And, you know, after that, it's not that I don't know what I want to do, there's just so many things that I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to pick one.
Just one.
Yeah, I'd do it all if I could, but, you know, so we'll see. I've definitely got to work with cows, man. You know me. That's what. There's got to be cows involved.
I know. Won't you tell us a little bit about that? If you don't know Miss Brilee Tucker, she's very into her cow shows. She's very successful at it. Very decorated. You know, won't you just tell us about it? I know you do a lot of traveling. You go to a lot of places.
Yeah. I started that probably, I don't know, 6 years ago. I started showing with my cousins some, and it just started as kind of like spend the night in the barn at State Fair over the weekend, and, you know, help brush their tails before they go in the show ring, you know, little stuff like that. And I don't know, I just fell in love with it, and it's crazy for people that don't really know what all goes into it. But I started showing dairy cows. I've had some leased to me, Right now I'm at Rocky Run Farms in Greensburg, and they kind of took me in and treat me like family, and they've been leasing me some heifers, so I go out there and work. And like I said, the family, it's like a second family.
Right.
From all over the state, all over the country. I've met some of the best people out there. I tell you, some of the best people in the world are cow people. I'll say that 1,000 times. They really are. And it's cool getting to meet these people that have been doing it for 50, 60 years. Man, they know pedigrees, they know genetics, bloodlines. I mean, they live it and breathe it. And I'm trying to get there. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I like looking at the genetics and breeding and stuff like that, and getting them ready for a show. And being out there in the ring I just love it. That's kind of like my happy place. You can't tell it on my face. They fuss at me all the time. You need to smile when you're out there. You need to look happy. But I get in that zone. It's like a game face. But
get your game face on.
I love it. It's so fun.
What would you say would probably the farthest place you've traveled for a cow show?
I got to go to Madison, Wisconsin this year for the World Dairy Expo. I've been wanting to go there for like the last 5 or 6 years, and so I finally got the opportunity to go this year with the judging team, and it was so cool. It was like the best week of my life. I loved it. The weather was good. You don't ever know about Wisconsin. It's about like Kentucky. They go through just as much 4 seasons in a week like we do.
Absolutely.
But I got to make a lot of new friends and catch up with some old friends up there. And some of these cows that I got to see, it sounds crazy, but these cows are worth a lot of money. And so getting to see them like up close and personal, that was really cool. And getting to see how many people come out just to watch. Like there's people that don't even own cows or live on a farm. They come out just to watch. And that was really cool. It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. If this doesn't tell you how eat up with it this young lady is, sometimes in class I'll walk by your computer and you're watching something to do with cows, and I'll have to look at a price tag, and then it'll be way up there.
I gotta keep up. I gotta stay in the know. I gotta know what's going on everywhere else. Who's selling what? Who's buying what? But yeah, I do. I do spend a lot of my time looking at it and keeping up, seeing who's winning what. Who's doing good, that kind of stuff.
I guess, we'll change the tide for a few minutes on it. You may be getting tired of talking about your agriculture. I know you can go on for days, but you also play softball.
Yep.
Senior softball player. How many years have you been playing?
Oh, gosh. I've played softball, I guess, since back in the North Metcalf Little League days is where it all started.
It's a long time. That's like me with baseball. Well, all the way back to you pick up a bat.
Yeah.
You're a pitcher and you play left. Which one do you like more?
I like being in the outfield. I do like being out there. I enjoy pitching though. It's a challenge. I like a good challenge. Slap hitting though, I picked that up in middle school, and that was real awkward at first. I'm right-handed, so I've got to get in the left-hand batter's box, and but I've gotten that down. Been working on that, and I really enjoy that. It's fun, And it's always cool to hear people say, "Oh my gosh, you hit left-handed? I thought you were right-handed," So that's kind of cool being able to do that.
I'm pretty sure I've done that to you a few times after some games. I'm pretty sure I've asked you that many times.
Yeah, so that's always fun.
Of course, this year you guys are picking up a new coach. Not necessarily a new face, but new coach.
Right.
Coach Brian Garrett. He coached many, many years of baseball. I had him my freshman year for baseball. What's that been like so far?
He's been working with us the past 3 or 4 weeks. Of course, the weather hadn't really cooperated. We've been in the hitting facility, but we're doing what we can in there, and I can already tell improvement. We've got some new faces that's been showing up, and just in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I can tell some improvement, even improvement in myself. Just little things that I didn't realize I was doing. He's noticed and critiqued, and I'm really excited about this year. We've got a lot of catching up to do, but nothing we can't handle. So I'm excited to see what we can do this year.
Who would you say right now, if you had to guess, who's probably the biggest dog on the block in the 16th district?
16th
softball?
District. I would have to say Russell County.
Russell?
Yeah, they can hit the ball, and I'm talking like good hits right in the hole. They can hit the ball. So yeah, they're usually who we have to look out for. Cumberland County though, I don't know about this year, but here in the past, they've had some good slap hitters, good bunt coverages and stuff like that. So yeah, Cumberland County's one. Cumberland and Russell usually have who we have to look out for.
Yeah, I know. I know in softball, it's a whole lot different from baseball. Of course, for those you don't know, I'm a just big baseball fan. Love it. I've played it all my life. But it's fun to come watch softball though, because there's just always the little things that just make it
Right.
interesting. You got slap hitters. You guys can bunt really good. A lot of you are really fast and get down the line.
Fast. That's one thing. And maybe it's because I'm not playing baseball. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like baseball's just a little bit slower paced than softball.
It is. It is a little bit more slower paced. I don't know. I won't say that there's more strategy in the game, but like it's the little things within the game that we can do that y'all can't, like the leadoffs and the bases are just a little bit farther apart. Just different things like that make it kind of move a little bit slower, but
they're the same game, but at the same time, they're totally different games too. Just depending on how you look at it.
So like, do you guys have any power hitters on your team? I know you guys hit a couple home runs last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Ellie's had some. Marley had some. Kaylee Harbison had one at Greene County last year. Yeah, I think we've got some girls that can crush the ball. They'll definitely be capable, and some that if they can't right now, I can tell they've got the potential by the end of the season. They'll be crushing it. So I'm excited.
I know it's always one of my favorite things to do after practice. If there's a softball game, most of the time we come right up there. It's one of the best times of the year, probably my favorite time of the year. But one thing I do not like is the heat, Kentucky heat.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it too much. I've hated being cold this past few months. I just hate it.
Really? You don't like the cold?
I like
not a cold person?
No, I like being outside. I like when it's warm. I feel like everything good comes with warm weather. Softball season, cow shows, pool time. It all comes together when it gets warm.
So basically it comes down to cow shows and softball. That's basically what it comes down to. That's why you don't like the winter.
Everything slows down in the winter. No softball, no cow shows. Can't get your cows out because it's too cold. Just bring on the heat, man.
Yeah, but I mean, for your cows though in the wintertime, I mean, I know you're always inside with them in the barn, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I'll call you out on that one. So what's the pitching staff look like? I know you pitch.
Bailey Garrett, Maddie Froge, and Autumn Jewell. She's a sophomore this year, so that's looking like a lineup right now. So,
off the top of your head, I don't know if you know or not, but how many of you guys is there overall?
Let's see. I know there's 6 girls on the basketball team that'll be playing with us.
Because you guys were practicing in the heating facility before us the other day, and I just kind of noticed, there's a lot of you guys out there.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good number so far. I hope they all stick with it and stick with us all season. Potential is what I keep telling myself, because we do. We're, of course, being from such a small school, it's hard. Some schools will start softball practice in January, but when you half your team's on the basketball team, it's hard to get going as early as some of these other schools do. But we'll be all right. We'll get it together. We'll fight through it, and I think we're going to be okay come district tournament time.
Yeah, I know that's one thing that we always have to fight through at Metcalf is just we have a lot of multiple sport athletes.
Right.
And we don't have a lot of just necessarily devotion to single sports. You're actually probably one of the few, but you did play basketball.
I did
last year, and sadly you didn't play this year, which you should have.
I loved basketball. I loved my teammates. I loved my coaches. I wouldn't take nothing for it. I loved my time playing basketball, being on the team. This year just had some different callings. I was on the state judging team, so I knew I was going to be traveling a lot, and I just wanted to put a lot of my time into that.
It's all about doing what you love, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Definitely.
But would you say that you miss it a lot, though?
I do, yeah. Seeing those girls out there last night in the district championship game, there was a couple times I thought, man, I'd love to be out there with them right now. But pep section's fun too, Gunner. We had it rocking, though.
We had a ball. We had a ball. I know early on in the year, though, I'd push pretty hard to try to get you to play. But, You ended up wanting to do your cow stuff. I know that.
Yeah.
Um,
It all worked. It all worked out. You know, I wouldn't change anything the way it is now. You know, and we don't have much time left, Gunner. May's rolling around pretty quick.
I don't know why you had to say that. You had to just depress the whole show after that.
Oh no,
that's
no,
not.
we'll be all right. But I'm happy with the way everything's worked out. You know, I wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah, most definitely. Are you ready to graduate though? I mean,
Depends on what day you ask me, I guess. sometimes I'm ready. You know, I'm ready to move on and get things rolling. But then sometimes, you know, I just kind of sit here and I'm like, man, I really got it made right now, you know.
I know that's
no
the way I
real
keep
responsibilities just yet.
That's the way I keep looking at it. I don't want to have to start paying bills and doing stuff.
You know, I think about, well, you know, I might have a little bit more freedom after this, but with freedom comes a lot more responsibilities.
Right. So you said you're going to go to Western. You're going to live on campus.
Yeah. Yep.
You are going to live on campus.
They
try
require
the dorm life out.
Yeah, they require freshmen, sophomore to live on campus. So I mean, might as well. You know, I'll get to meet a lot of people that way and get the real college experience, I guess.
The real college experience. I think what would stress me out probably the most would have to be the parking. And just
oh my gosh, yes,
from place
especially
to place.
at Western. I hear college kids at Western all the time talk about, oh, parking's so terrible. You never know where to park, or where you're going to get a ticket. Yes, that's one thing that's probably the only thing that really makes me nervous. You know, I know the campus pretty well, where everything's at, and I got to figure out where I want to stay, which residence hall I want to stay in. But I think after that, and I find somewhere to park, I think I'll be okay.
Hopefully you won't get stuck in Egypt, which typically that would be my luck most of the time. But well, Brilee, I appreciate you being on here with me today. I've enjoyed it. We've talked a lot of good things. I mean, I don't have anything else for you. You got anything else for the people out there listening?
No, people have to listen to me talk all the time, Gunner.
Well, she says that's enough, folks. So I'm going to wrap it up here on Word on the Street with Gunner Word. And as always, all you Hornet crazies, keep it classy out there.